What's going on, guys? My name's Spence,
And I'm Mitch.
and we're two brothers that really love King of the Hill, and we're back in the saddle again today with the third episode of the second season, The Arrowhead.
And this is a really good episode for me personally, because in this episode, you really delve into your partner showing interest in an intellectual superior. And my wife, being a senior paralegal, has obviously worked for some high-powered lawyers in the past, and I mainly have been slightly insecure about it, as we see Hank is insecure in this episode. But his insecurities are unwarranted, and so were mine.
Before we could continue here, I just really wanted to make a shout out for them watching British comedy. I personally love British comedy, and this is one of the things that I really resonate with King of the Hill, because it's actually British-styled comedy, but in an American package.
Oh, posh! I've a run in my stocking.
Yes, Prime Minister.
It's definitely the dry humor is there for sure. Another note for King of the Hill always keeping their facts correct is the John Deere 518R is in fact a real rototiller model.
What is a rototiller anyway?
It's just pretty much to say you want to till up some lanes for planting some whatever corn or whatever. You use a tiller to till up your.
I see. So what the hell is Hank trying to do with it anyway?
You can use it to carve up your lawn too. If you want to landscape an area, you can bring in the rototiller and take the lawn out and put pavers in or whatever you want to do.
Gotcha. So we get the main plot point of the episode here. While rototilling, Hank busts his blade on Arrowhead, and he also finds a mysterious tool that he thinks is to jam into the brainstem of an enemy.
A white man, to be exact.
And here we get the first introduction of John Redcorn's new actor, Jonathan Joss, who is he's just like chef's kiss, the perfect voice actor for John Redcorn.
Yeah, he's a great choice.
He's been in some other series, but it's pretty rare. Did you ever watch Parks and Recreation?
I did.
Yeah, because he plays the chief in that one too, and I always appreciated that character. Always just thought, oh, that's John Redcorn in the flesh.
Oh, Tate, hi. Thank you for coming. Would you like some water?
Water? Like fire water? That's racist, and I do not appreciate it.
No. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant,
I'm just messing with you.
Oh, my God.
He's funny. This guy's funny. He does that sometimes.
But seriously, I'll have a whiskey.
I'm surprised I ever made that connection.
And also we get a really good joke here, one of my favorite jokes, where first off, John Redcorn explains how everything is sacred and how Hank is taking it for granted. And then he tells him that it's wrong to impede on another person's property. And you get Nancy in the background.
I think this is another scene that speaks to Dale having to have known about John Redcorn.
Yeah, and by the way, if you guys are new to the channel, you should definitely check out our video where we talked about whether or not Dale knew all along. It's one of our best, I think. It's one of the ones I'm most proud of.
Yeah, I got a lot of people talking, which was great.
So Hank takes the knowledge that John Redcorn gives him, and he goes to the university, because John Redcorn tells him that his people, the white man, will pay $50, upwards of $50, for the artifacts he found.
Now we meet the antagonist, the guy who Peggy is about to show all this interest in, and of course he is a university professor.
And that speaks to Peggy, who always fancies herself as an intellectual.
But yeah, nothing like a professor.
And we get an immediate picture of what a gigantic douchebag this guy is, as he throws away the arrowhead completely callously.
And he gives Hank enough money for the shaft straightener for a new rototiller blade. And he pulls the arrowhead out of the garbage too. What a beauty.
Yeah, I was just about to say that we could see what a deceptive piece of shit he is, that he lies to Hank's face completely.
Yeah, intellectuals. That's what I think of them. And here we go. We have Peggy meeting her flavor of the week.
And yeah, this guy just straight up lies to her face about what exactly he's here to do and what exactly the forms she's going to sign are.
Yeah, she makes her feel special. That one that really stuck in my craw.
Yeah, where he builds her up to manipulate her. Peggy has no idea what she just signed.
No, that's actually something I would never catch my wife. That she reads every contract.
That's funny because that's something that Jasmine and Silky have in common. Jasmine will read every single line of every single agreement that she signs.
Hank
Now-
yells how much she has to fog the window and then unfog it.
Peggy has basically sacrificed Hank's lawn. I also love this little clip here where Boomhauer is explaining the entire contract, and if we know in the future what Boomhauer does, he would know about the laws and how they interact with property and stuff like that, so he's the guy to go to know if it's airtight or not.
I wonder if they planned that all along, if they knew that Boomhauer was going to be a Texas Ranger, and then they just revealed it at the end.
Yeah, that would be interesting. When we get Mike Judge on the show, we'll ask him.
Get him on the horn. They removed Hank's privacy hedge. That would piss me off.
I would be more pissed off if someone used my razor. Hank is upset that Peggy signed away the rights to his lawn. And we can see that Peggy definitely has, I don't know if infatuation is the right word, but definitely an admiration of the professor.
It's nothing romantic. Yeah, it's just it's an admiration, I think is the right word, but it still pisses a guy off. The one that bugs me is seeing another guy make my wife laugh. That one really gets
Oh, that
me.
pisses you off, eh?
That's my job. He's had enough at this point.
Yeah, and I get it. I definitely get it. And this guy is also, again, he's a colossal douchebag, but he knows who he can be a douchebag to and who he has to turn the charm on for.
Yeah, he's a classic manipulator for sure.
And not to talk too much about my background, but I used to work in law enforcement, and I would notice that kind of stuff from criminals. They could turn on the manipulation tactics depending who their audience was. If someone were fucking around in my backyard as I was trying to sleep, oh God, I could not stand that.
Oh, I would have a serious meltdown. Got the floodlights on at night and everything.
Peggy is more interested in protecting the professor's car, his precious Saab with leather seats, making sure that it doesn't get rained on.
And she's wearing a bracelet that the professor gave her. And that would stick in my craw for sure.
Oh, and he's now fucking giving her mild physical touch.
Oh, yeah. Like the cliche helping a girl practice her golf swing by holding her arms.
Exactly, right? I was going to say that's how chicks work. They like the subtle escalation. They don't like to dive right into things. You have to build it up layer by layer. And here we have Hank trying to basically fool the professor by crafting a fake bracelet.
He's using a pneumatic die grinder right now.
What purpose does that usually serve?
Grinding little things. He had a welding lid on for some reason.
Just excessive. Hank does appreciate his safety.
He does. Way more so than me.
I wouldn't say it's overrated, but the people who appreciate safety are like the biggest fucking losers.
Agreed.
And the professor can already see through Hank's game. He's telling him to go look over there, but he can already figure that something's up.
Yeah, he's a pretty cunning individual, the professor is.
Hank's ploy kind of backfires because all of the students figure out very quickly that it's a fake, and Peggy thinks that it's real.
Yeah, poor Hank. He should have thought that one through a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, it definitely shows that he wasn't thinking this one through, but that's what happens, right? When your mind is clouded with jealousy and doubt.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you end up doing stupid things. But that, at the end of the day, is what endures Peggy towards Hank, is the fact that he put in this effort to start this whole ploy because he was jealous of the fact that Peggy was spending a bunch of time and giving her attention to this other guy.
And that's, I think, how it goes for most couples out there. Once she realizes that you're jealous, it changes everything.
When smarts can only get you so far, but when you're confronted with brute strength, there's not much you can do.
Good old brute force. It's always been there for me.
And then I love that Peggy also pushes him in.
You know what's ironic about this? You're the one who looks stupid right now. Okay? So you're stronger than I am. You've proven that. Fine. I'm starting to enjoy this. I really am. I want you to push me in the hole. Please, push me in the hole.
Okay.
That would be me and Sophie too. She's pretty hands-on.
All right. This is, in my opinion, a pretty solid episode, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
I really like this episode due to the fact that we see a new side of Hank, a side that's relatable, very much so for me, and I think it's relatable for a couple of guys out there in our audience.
Yeah. And ultimately, what would you give this one out of 10?
This one is going to be, I'm torn between 8.5 and a 9. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9.
Nice. Okay. I think it's a very solid episode, but it doesn't have the same kind of deep resonance for myself as it does for you. So I'm going to give it a 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, still a solid episode. This is one I don't usually skip on rewatch. I'll end up watching it to completion. And overall, there isn't too many bad things I think to say about this one.
No, it's got it all, really.
Let's wrap this one up. I want to thank you guys for watching once again. And if you appreciated the King of the Hill content we bring, please subscribe. And we'll be back next week with episode 4.
Awesome. We'll see you guys then. Bye.
I know what you're thinking, Hank, and it's not true. Every once in a while, a guy suspects his wife has a thing for another man.
That's not what I'm thinking at all. I'm thinking about cheese logs.